So, when I first got married, now we've been married for this year, this is 26, so 25 years last December. Okay. So when we first got married, people would not know that we were poor. We had no money and we were homeless. We were living on the floor of a friend's house, on the floor, not even in the bed, not even in the bed. So I would say within a 5-year period, we went from being homeless to having investments.
And you just have to stay the course and not give
No,
up
don't give
no
up.
matter what, because there are people that look just like you that need you to be the example for them to
They
keep
need you to
going.
win.
I would say don't, as long as you have breath in your body, blood is still running through your veins. There is hope.
Mhm.
There is opportunity. You do not have to give up. You do not have to settle. You don't have to give in.
Hello, hello. Thanks for joining us again today. We appreciate you so much for always chiming in. We are her presence. I am Andrea Wormley. I have my co-host here, Kelly Wormley. Lord, I'm bringing you into my family.
Who am I marrying? Gotta ask Randy. Randy, who am I marrying? You got any singles? I'm sorry.
Kelli
Relatives?
Moorer.
I'm sorry, that was
Here.
bad. I'm sorry.
So I have Kelli Moorer here, and we have Melissa Benson over here. And so again, make sure that you like, make sure you subscribe, make sure that you share, especially if you know that someone would benefit from the things that you hear here. So today we are going to talk about resilience, and in particular, we're going to talk about women of resilience, but we're actually going to talk about ourselves. And the reason why I think it's important to talk about ourselves is because sometimes you don't even understand that you should be celebrated.
Mhm.
And oh, and by the way, we're going to have an episode about why women don't celebrate each other. We're going to talk about that. But today we're going to talk about resilience. Um, some time ago, I asked a friend of mine, um, tell me 3 things about yourself that is just beautiful. And it was really hard for her to come up with something. And I had to come up. I was like, well, what about this? What about this? What about this?
Mhm.
So I want to talk about ourselves today. And we're going to give stories of resilience. And so I'm gonna pass it over to okay, I'm gonna say it. I'm gonna go first. I'ma go first. I'ma go first.
Woo! Okay, go.
And I think it's probably easier for me because I am also in real estate, and this is a testimony that I actually give to uh, uh, my potential clients. Okay,
Mhm.
so when I first got married, now we've been married for this year, this is 26, so 25 years last December. Okay. So when we first got married, people would not know that we were poor. We had no money and we were homeless. We were living on the floor of a friend's house, on the floor, not even in the bed.
Mhm.
Not even in the bed. We were living on the floor of a friend's house, not bringing in a lot of money, um, and my dad and they didn't even know. I didn't
Mm.
share this with my dad until maybe we were probably married for 5 or 6 years before
Mm.
I even shared that with my dad. So, within a year of that though, we, uh, got a house. But I really feel like we got a house because we were givers,
Mm,
right? Even in the situation where we didn't have money, we were homeless, we didn't have a roof over our heads, like not our own, um, we still gave what we had. If somebody needed it,
mhm,
we gave, right? Um, my husband, because of obligations, financial obligations that he had, uh he may have been bringing in $20 a week. I am
mm,
not lying.
Mm.
But he was a big tither too, though.
mm.
So no matter what, he was going to tithe. So after that, we had
Yes, it
$20.
happened at
We
20.
had $20
Mm,
each week, and it's like, whoa. And I have to say that if I did not grow up in a house that gave, that would have been that would have been
mhm,
a struggle. Which, by the way, is why you should be equally yoked. Okay, but
mhm.
anyway, I feel like if I didn't grow up in a house that gave and it wasn't a problem, like I saw it all the time, that probably would have been a problem. Um, but anyway, that's where we were. And within a year, though, we had our
Mhm,
own house. And I know it is because we were givers. I know that is because, right? Had our house. And the way we got the house was unconventional, I would say that, but we had a
mhm,
house. And then within probably 2 years of getting that house, we actually got our own, conventionally got our own house. Um, and ever since then, we've had homes, we've had rentals, we've been able to have investments and all that kind of stuff.
mhm,
So I would say within a 5 year period, we went from being homeless to having investments.
mm,
And I know it's because we were givers, and I think that that has a lot to do with being resilient,
mhm,
moving forward, growing. We also, for me, the things that I felt like was a failure or bad decisions, because nobody's perfect, right? I took it as education. Is not, that was a waste of my time or a waste of
mhm,
our money or whatever the case may be. It was just I paid for education, or it was just education, and take it for what it is,
mm.
you know. So that is my story. I have many. I have many, many stories.
I'm
That's,
telling you.
my mom passed from
Mhm,
cancer when I was 18 years old.
mm,
She was 30. She found out when she was 32, passed at 38.
Wow.
Um,
mm,
way before the 40 mammogram
Right.
situation.
Right.
Mhm.
Yeah.
mhm,
But here I am, you know? So I'll come back to some things for
mhm.
all of us to kind of piggyback off of our story of resilience that we've chosen.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
I'll pass it to who we want to go.
Well, first of all, when we talk about resilience, I love the fact that you kept saying we were givers because when you are going through financially, you would say, what do I have to give?
Mhm.
And many times it's not just money, it's your time, your gift, your talent. So the fact that you all were able to, even when you couldn't see, you still gave.
Mhm.
That's resilience.
Yeah,
That's resilience.
it's
That is
resilience.
pushing forward through the challenges. I'm moving forward regardless because where I'm at is not where I'm going to be.
True.
I mean, I feel like y'all, even in your mindset, I may be on the floor, but guess what? We're going to have our own floors.
Yeah.
So awesome, awesome,
Mhm.
awesome. When as I was like going through my mind, like, what story of resilience? What story? There's so many. What do
Yes.
I want to share? And I feel like even as we go around, we'll have like 2, 3 rounds of our
Yeah, because
stories
I'm
of
thinking of something
resilience.
Right.
else now, right?
Right. Right. Right.
So many stories. You can't make it to this age and not have stories of resilience. You just cannot. My first one is I'm gonna share is about my journey through my profession as a nurse. So I'm gonna start with that one. But boy, do I have, like I said, the thoughts and the processes. Um, I can remember I was enlisted at the time in Washington State, walking from Madigan Hospital, and we stayed in the barracks. So I'm walking across the pathway or the road to get to the barracks, and I see this young lady, and she has this big packet that she's like carrying, and I'm like, what is that? You need some help? What is that? And she said, hey, the Army is getting ready to send me to nursing school, but I'm not going to do it because I'm getting married. And I was like, for real? I said, well, can I have that packet? And she was like, yeah, here you go. So she gives me the packet. I start flipping through the packet, and I'm like, okay, I'm going to apply to be a nurse. I'm going to do this.
Wow.
And so then I was transferred to Germany, PCS to Germany. And so I'm doing my prerequisites. I'm doing all these things to try to get into the nursing program. So and then I'm like, okay, I've got to finish this last prerequisite. It was biochemistry. I've got to have this biochemistry in order to get into a nursing program. And so I'm like, okay, I sign up, no class available. All right. So I call the professor. I'm like, okay, can I get into one of your online courses? Can I get into one of your independent studies? Because I have to have this in order to get into the program. He says, no, not going to be able to do it. Okay. So I call another professor. No, not going to be able to do it. So then hearing me in my mind said, I'm going to go to another school then. I walk into this big, large auditorium, get into the biochemistry class. They writing on the board all the equations. They might as well have been writing Chinese on the board because it was an auditorium, 500 people. I'm way in the back. The class that I got in on the second week of the class, I'm like, nah, I'm lost. I'm not gonna be able to do this. And everything in me was like, this is not gonna happen for you. It's just not gonna happen. So I call, I'm like, okay, Melissa, you got to do this. Figure it out. You got this packet. It can happen. So I call another professor. I'll never forget. This lady picked up, and here's the pressure of this. Because the age range and the years of service, I was right at that minimum.
Right there.
So this was it. So it wasn't like they were going to extend or anything like that.
It was the maximum.
Yeah,
You were at the
maximum.
max.
Yeah,
You were at the
I was at
max.
the max of years of
Yeah.
service, 10 years of service. So it was like, thank you.
Oh, wow.
It was like, you have to do it now. If you don't do it now, you won't be able to do it. So I'm like, so that pressure that, oh, can I push through this? Can I make it happen? And so I never forget what this professor said to me. And she was a chemist. She said, maybe you need to reconsider. Maybe this is not what God has for you.
Why are we always told to reconsider? Okay.
And I'm telling you, Eric, the last thing I needed to hear was, this may not be for you. And so I'm telling you, you got to know the voice of God on the inside of you, because clearly in my head, something said, hang up the phone.
Right now.
And I said, oh, okay. Thank you so much. I appreciate your time. Thank you. And so I hung up the phone. And right after that, the voice of God said, don't you call nobody else. You walk up to that professor that you just finished organic chemistry with, and you ask him to do an independent study.
Period.
And I was like, he's already told me no on the phone, but okay.
Wow.
And so I get home, and there is this magnet on my refrigerator, Jeremiah 29:18. And I just zoom in on that magnet. For I know the plans that I have for you. And I'm like, it's going to be okay.
Yeah.
It's going to be okay. Everybody's telling you no. You've tried everything that you can do. For I know the plans that I have for you to give you hope and a future.
Mhm.
So I take my little happy behind. I called my commander the next day. I was like, hey, I'm not going to be able to come in. I'm going to be late. I need to go over here to the school. And this is it. Packet had to be submitted. This is it. I walk over there and I walk up to him. Hi, Professor such and such. I need to have an independent study for your biochemistry class. He said, sure, here you go. Take the paper and take it up to the registrar's office.
Listen,
I said, when you know, you know.
when you said I was walking, you made me think about how Jesus told the people to walk with the jugs of water that turned into wine.
Mm,
Like it was the walk.
it was oh girl,
The
come
walk.
on. It was the walk. Come on.
Yeah,
The
that's good.
because no had been the message. No.
All
No,
along.
no, no. This is not for you. I tried to do it my own way.
Mhm.
It wasn't going to work. It wasn't going to happen. I couldn't understand nothing that was on that board. I guarantee you, I'm just like, you might as well just be doing this because I am not understanding where y'all are even at.
Wow.
And for him, like you said, it was just the walk.
Yeah.
Mhm.
And it was like, we never even had the conversation on the phone.
It was just a walk. And then, y'all, this morning, you know what? Okay, so I'm trying not to cry. So I was in worship this morning. So God is a covenant keeping God.
Yes, he is. Yes, he
And there are
is.
agreements and oaths and stuff that God has made with his own self
Yes.
concerning me
Concerning.
that I don't even
Yes.
know that I was a party of.
Mm.
I didn't even know I was a party of.
Mm.
Like that was already an agreement that was going to
Mhm.
happen, right? And
Yes.
it is just the walk. I said this, and this. And I mean, like, even when you think back on it, why was I not taking no for an answer? Like,
Mhm.
why I just
You
kept
should
going?
have.
Yeah.
Why is
should've.
it when I called the lady and or you went into her office, whatever, I can't,
You
you're gonna
called
phone.
her. You on the phone.
And she was like, you should just let this go. And something in me said, oh, you got upset
Yeah.
about it.
Come
Like, where did
on.
that
Like,
come from? Right? There was an agreement that
Yes.
had already
Yes.
been made,
Yes.
right?
Yes.
And then you talking about you was at the customs and stuff. And when I was thinking about the walk and how the king said, y'all save the best wine for last.
Yes.
Anyway.
Yeah.
That was yes. The
Yeah.
silver lining was I'm not taking no
Mm-mm.
for an answer. It is
Mm-mm.
something that's telling me to push on. That's
Yeah.
just
Yeah.
That's beautiful.
wow.
Eh,
For us, it was the dream. Like there was a dream. Like we are dreamers. My
mhm.
husband and I, we are
Yes.
just dreamers. We're just like, ooh, yeah, ooh,
Yes. Yes.
So even in the midst of being in a low place, what
Mhm.
people would say is a low place because you can be in a low place and still be free.
Come on. Come on.
So mentally
Yes.
free from guilt and shame and all this kind of
Mhm.
stuff and muzzlements and all that kind of stuff. But even when we were down in that place, I don't want to say down, but in that place, we were still dreamers. And
Mm.
I know that
Mhm.
that just no it was something that said you're
Yes.
going to be able to do these things, right?
Yes.
You know,
Yes.
Spirit of the Lord, right?
Yes.
Okay, so Kelly, go.
Excuse me. So, I would normally say, okay, what you want me to talk about? And you would give me, because, talking about yourself is not something, you know what you've gone through and you know what you experience. Unless someone asks you or you have a situation where you're in conversation and you're relating to one another. And
Yes.
yep, I've been there and done that one. So, excuse me. While you were talking, I had a different thought and I decided to talk about my military.
Mhm.
So to know me, I was always a mommy and daddy's girl. Um, Daddy's girl, you know. I had 2 brothers, so I was the rose between, they said, 2 thorns. I don't know about that, but, I guess it's the boy thorn, I don't know.
Yeah.
So I was the only girl. I was athletic, okay? From elementary all the way, even through the military. I played a lot of sports, but my biggest and my most passion one was volleyball. Okay, so my dad's in the school system, and we're in Waukegan, Illinois, and I graduate from Waukegan. So my Facebook page, it's most of the people on my Facebook page are my friends from back home. So dad he becomes superintendent of schools in St. Louis. And 2 weeks after I graduated, we moved to St. Louis.
Mm.
That was a hard summer.
Mhm.
That's the summer that you typically are with your friends. And before everybody goes to college, and it's the last hurrahs. And, then we all go off to college. Well, my hurrah was 2 weeks, and then we are now moving to a different state. Love St. Louis because it's way different than what I grew up with. Um, Different melting pot. Different beer and burr and all the other funny, words that we learned while we're there. I go to school there, and but I'm not happy. Um, I don't now know what I want to do. I thought I wanted to be a teacher. School is now appealing to me now. Um, I feel all alone. And so my mom would check in with me every now and, what's going on? "Oh, I'm fine, I'm fine, I'm fine." And so one morning she says, let's get in the car. So we go to McDonald's, and she gets a coffee, and we're just sitting in the car. And she says, we got to do something. You're not happy. Um, we don't know what you want to do, and we don't want you to be stagnant. And so your dad and I said, if you want to go back to Illinois and go to school with some of your friends, what do you want to do? And I had some time to think about it. And I said, Mom, I want to join the Army. And, that wasn't what she expected me to say.
Sure.
It's a commercial.
Right.
Commercial.
I know.
Talk about
Sponsorship on that one.
Yeah.
And so she said, why? I said, because my older brother, Paul was in the Army. He joined the Army, and we went to Fort Gordon, Georgia for his graduation. And he just seemed so happy, and the experiences, and it was something I never thought I'd want to do. And I didn't think that me being a girl, I would do well, but I wanted to give it a shot. That's where the athletic, that's where that confidence, I guess, when it comes to sports, and you can do it all. And so I said, I just want to give it a try. And so she said, okay. She says, let's talk with your dad. And if that's what you want to do, then we have to support you.
Yeah.
And so we told my dad. My dad wasn't too happy with that decision. He was like, oh, you stay in school and no. And I just said, right now I'm just not ready for school. I'm just not happy with school. And this is just not for me right now. So long story short, took the ASVAB. Is that what it was called?
Mhm.
Okay. And my recruiter, he was so sweet. We got the results back, and I ended up scoring high in male-dominated fields. One was even mechanics.
Wow.
And I'm like, mechanic? And I'm like, well, maybe I can learn how to fix car. So I thought maybe that might be fun. He was like, no, it's not going to be fun. Yeah, he says, unless you want to be in overalls and grease and all that. He says, you've scored higher in these other avenues. Let's do that one. So I joined the military, and I joined it October. Oh, I'm gonna tell my age.
It's okay.
Yeah, it's okay.
1990. So it was right before
Oh, yeah.
Desert
Oh,
Storm
yeah.
kicked off.
That's it. Yeah.
And so we went into basic training, and into basic training, Desert Storm kicked off.
Mm,
Mm. Mm. Mm.
mm, mm,
So as you're learning how to be a soldier, you're also
mhm.
learning who's most expendable.
Mm.
Mhm.
Wow.
And so went through basic training, went through AIT. AIT is where they were sending us over. And the class that graduated, the class that we were closest to, when they graduated, which was 2 weeks before we all knew we were going
Mm.
to Bosnia. It was Bosnia?
Ooh,
I think it was Bosnia.
yeah.
Um, so our thing was, save a foxhole for me because we'll see you in a couple weeks, literally.
Mm,
And so they went over, and then 2 days before we were to graduate, there was a ceasefire. We didn't know what that meant. And the USA Today or some newspaper, it said unsung heroes.
mm,
And we didn't know what that meant. And
mm,
so they called us into the room and they said, okay, you all are going to be staying stateside. No one's going to war. It's a ceasefire. And then when we asked, what does the unsung heroes mean? It means that there were casualties.
mm,
And our friends were the ones that were in the barracks and
mm,
they were able to hit the missile, but the detonator is what hit the barracks. And so
mm.
we lost our friends.
Mm.
Wow.
Um, so with that, another change, did I do the right thing?
Mm,
What does my future look like now in the military? I'm now coming out of a protective nature, now going into permanent or AIT permanent party. And what does that look like for me? And so I get stationed up north, Fort Drum, New York,
mm,
and I supported aviation. And there was only two other female.
mm.
No, there
Wow.
was one other female and then me, makes two.
Mm,
And we were the only of my color um, in about 100. We had about 100 soldiers in that company. So my military experience where I thought that I was weak, not strong, I couldn't make it on my own,
mm, mm,
hesitant on what my future was going to look like. Um, it gave me a future. It allowed me to see myself differently. But most importantly, you talking about some times when you were praying,
mhm.
you
Yeah.
were praying because you didn't know if you're going to be going to war. You had your
Mhm.
family praying, you had your church, we would
Mm,
get in groups together and learn how to pray with one another. But I tell you, when you don't know what God has for you and he starts to reveal it, um, it's awesome.
mhm.
Sometimes scary because I don't know
Absolutely.
what you got for
Right,
me.
right.
But my military experience was the best decision that could have been made for me because it helped me um, gain more confidence in my abilities. Now, there's some
Mhm.
times where, I kind of struggled every now and then, but it allowed me to see where I came from
Right.
and know that I can still continue and that God has also carried me through that as well. So,
Mm,
um, overcoming,
mm,
Mhm.
I
mhm.
think when it comes to resilience is, and knowing that you can do it
Yes.
Mhm.
one
Yes.
step at a time.
Yep.
That's good.
Absolutely.
That's good.
Yeah.
You know, when we think about our experiences, and I think she kind of mentioned it all with hers. When we think about our experiences, um, those experiences shape the strongest parts of us,
Mhm.
right? And
Absolutely.
so, she said just that she knows that she is an overcomer,
Right.
and confidence.
Mhm.
Um, I think for me, I just know that it's gonna always be all right. Like,
Yep.
things are always
Mhm.
going to fall in place.
Mm-hmm.
It always works out for them that love the Lord.
All
Like,
right.
it's just going to
Mm-hmm.
work out. Just be in the present
Mm-hmm.
and know that tomorrow is going to work out. Later
Yes.
today is going
Yes.
to work out.
Mhm.
Just enjoy it. Even if it's a valley, just
Mm-hmm.
breathe it and feel it and move through it. Because a lot of
Mm-hmm.
times we don't want to feel it when we're in the valley. We want to put our head in the sand. I just don't want to,
Yeah,
but there's
absolutely.
something like when you think back, there are times when in the way you put your head in the
Mm-hmm.
sand, like I don't even remember that. I have a friend, she would say that, like, people that she knows that was close to her, they would say, I remember you said this and you used to do this. And she told me, she said, I don't even remember
Yeah,
that. I
I
don't, I
do
was
that all the time.
so outside of me that
Mm-hmm.
I just don't remember it. Because I'm sure the people who are psychologists, there's a name for it when you just
Mm-hmm.
go out your body, go
Yeah.
somewhere, you know. And I know in some situations you have to probably do that.
Yeah.
But some situations that we're in just, and so for me, the strongest part, those strongest things for me, or those experiences have taught me that it's going to be okay. And we, for the most part, are where we should be
Mm,
at that time.
yes.
You know, can I add something? So, I got a little emotional, with telling my story, and the part that I have to add to that one, and it's because my mom, and she's no longer here with us, is that she spoke life
Mm,
into me
yeah.
when I didn't know where I was going. What am I going to do? And she talked life. She talked value. She told me I can do anything I want to do. Just put your finger on it and claim it and walk through it. And I think, and she didn't make my dream seem small,
Mm,
or she
Mm-hmm.
didn't laugh at the dream,
mhm,
because she says you can do that too.
mhm.
So, resilience is also is someone empowering you to do sometimes something that you don't think you can do, but they see that you can do it,
Yeah.
you know, and they push you just a little bit to get you to start believing it yourself as well.
I
Yeah,
totally agree with you. And I add to that that sometimes resilience is not even just for you.
that part.
Right.
That
Right.
part.
I learned that too.
Yes.
Yeah, I
Because
learned that.
these lessons, as you mentioned it earlier, when you think you cannot, and that weaker side of you, resilience to me is almost like that strength resistance.
Yeah.
It's building a muscle,
Yeah.
it's building that memory that because what I talked about is I can share that with other people who are in the same struggle. I was told that they said you can't do this and you
Let me tell
can.
you. Let me
Yeah,
tell
you
you.
can.
Yep.
Telling you something I know.
Yeah,
Now
Yep.
right,
after somebody
right.
Yep.
told me.
Come on.
Been there, done it.
So it's just not, and then when you go through other situations in life, I might be the person that never accepts no because I'm like, well, hold on, wait a minute. Let's see what else is.
Right. I've
Can
been
we
told
do
no
this?
before
Can
and
we?
it became a
Yeah.
yes.
Okay. Look,
Yep.
somebody can give me a yes. I
Exactly.
believe it.
Right.
So it's not just for us.
Right.
It's for everybody else that we come into
Right.
contact with. It's for everybody that's looking up to us. And I mean those little people that become big people, our
Right.
children,
Right.
our family. It is for testimony
It
Testimony.
is. It's
so
it
that we can
yeah.
share with the world. Because it's
That
not
is true.
anything
It's
that
a
we
testimony.
individually have done,
No.
but it is truly the power of God
Yeah.
working through
Yep.
us.
I really believe that.
Yep.
I had something to do with it, but honestly, I had nothing to do with that.
Mm.
Your
Like
action.
every place that I put my foot was going to be, I believe it. It was going to be ordained.
Yes. Yes.
Period.
Mhm.
These experiences causes us to be more powerful than we once believed that we were,
Yep.
right?
Mhm.
And as you were saying, and is the bridge to somebody else.
Yes.
Right.
So I know for a fact that one of the, I feel like, strongest things of me because of these experiences is I am always, if somebody will say, I want to do this. Okay, let's do it. Let's see.
Uh-huh.
You know, let's
Come
get this
on.
plan together. So you
Yes.
know you can do this, 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 and this. And then I'm gonna call you next week to see if you did this, this, and this. Because
Mhm.
I know you can do. I
Mhm.
don't care
That
what
is you.
it is.
Yeah, that's
Yes.
you.
I
That's
don't
you.
care
Yes.
because I'm telling you, it's
Mhm.
something that I was able to do through the power of God.
Yes.
I was able to do it. It's not something that somebody else told me. It's
Mhm.
not something that I read in a book.
Yep.
It is something that actually I know it. It's not something I'm acknowledging, something that, well, yeah, I know that that could happen. No, I'm telling
Right.
you, it is something that I know, felt
Yes.
it, been there, felt the real feelings
Gone
of,
through it.
Mhm.
and the mountains, the valleys of
Yes.
it, the
Yes.
whatever, the journey. I know, and I know, as you said, that it wasn't just for me.
Right.
Mm.
I
Right.
know that
Right.
if this could happen to me, it can happen to anybody.
Yes.
Right.
Yes.
Right.
Me?
Yes. Yes.
Then it can happen to y'all. There was a time, within those 5 or 6 years that I talked to y'all about. Well, I would drive, y'all, we had this vehicle that we had could stop at any time on the interstate.
Yep.
Yeah. I remember I was pregnant with Kaya and the vehicle stopped because we didn't have enough money for gas. So my husband and I walking with my pregnant self on the interstate to the next exit. Just walking, just free on life, like, all right, what we gonna do? Well, we just gotta walk up to this gas station up here. And Randy he knew we were living in Atlanta. He knew the exits. Like, there's a gas station up here. Let's just walk up there. Okay. And I remember like, what am I in? Like, okay, God. And we're walking and the police just so happened to come by, picked us up, went to the gas station, got a whole thing of gas, took it to the car, put the gas in the car,
Mm.
said, I'm gonna meet you back up at the gas station. We drove the car to the gas station and he filled our car up.
Mm. Mm.
There was times when Randy would be gone somewhere. I can't remember if he couldn't be, seems like he was doing, what is the 2 weeks a year? 1 week?
TDY.
No,
Reservists.
reserve.
Okay.
So I feel like he was on one of those 2 weeks or a weekend or whatever. So my kids and I were coming from somewhere. It probably was coming from Little Rock, trying to get back to Atlanta. And the vehicle we were in stopped. Now, not because it didn't have gas, it just stopped. Who knows what this is about? We happen to have, USAA. Uh, a
Wait, no.
roadside
No.
assistant.
I got it.
But I was thinking that it wasn't gas. I thought it was something else. But when we got to the gas station, because I could hear it, it happened to be gas. It didn't. The thing wasn't showing, but it was gas. I had no money. I didn't have nothing.
Mm.
So I have Kaya. She's little. And this was, y'all, this was after we had our home. So we were still like the first home I told y'all about. So we were still like, so I'm standing there, I didn't have any money, and I'm like asking people, can I get something to put in my gas tank? Can I, can anybody help me with a gas tank? And people like, nope, looking at me like, nope, no. And then this man came and he said, here's 40.
Oh.
And that's not a single thing. Like, that happened often. So now, what y'all think happened when folks be asking me for gas? I'm not finna just give you $10.
Right.
Where is your vehicle? Let's fill that up. Just fill it up because I know how it feels. But because of those things, and when I think about where God has me now, it's like, I know that there is always a way. There's always a ram in the bush. God got you.
Right.
Mhm.
It just
Right.
you actually have to be looking though. Sometimes
Yeah.
you have to be like, are
Yeah.
you willing to ask, you know,
Mhm.
can someone help me? Because I don't know. I don't know. Maybe I wasn't, maybe if I didn't ask, maybe he still would have, you know, ma'am, are you okay over
Mhm.
here? But it's just, I just know that these are powerful things that we now have because of these experiences that we
Mhm.
have.
The testimonies.
Yes,
Yes.
That we can
I know.
share
Yes.
who God
I
is.
know that they're powerful. I know that because of that, these things have proven that uh, life can go to whatever level you
Mhm.
want it to. God made you who you are.
Right.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? And so
Yes.
because of that, it's not strange that you decide you're going to be a nurse.
Mhm.
It's not strange that you decide you're going to own your business.
Mhm.
It's not strange.
Mm-mm.
He made you
Mhm.
to wake up and say, you know what?
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? And
Mhm.
because of that, and because we are in the image of God,
Mhm.
he can make something out of nothing.
Right.
That means
And he
I
did.
can make
Come
something out
on.
of nothing.
Come on.
I am a creator because God is a creator. And you
Exactly.
have to think of those things, right? And I feel like that, like those kind of things that just came out of me
Mhm.
is because of the experiences that I had. And I know for a fact that you can do the worst thing you can do is the best thing you do.
Yeah.
Is tell me that you're trying to do something. And be like, okay,
Mhm.
we finna do it.
Mhm. Mhm.
Yeah. So
I
wow.
I agree with you so much. As I'm listening to you all stories and I'm thinking about my own stories, and there's even so many to tell. So many to tell. But I have to take a moment and just say, look where we are
Mhm.
right now
Resilience.
in this moment.
Mhm.
From any of our stories, had we just given up,
Right. Right.
this would be a different
It would.
podcast topic.
Right.
Or maybe it wouldn't even be a podcast.
At all.
I wouldn't even be here right now.
Come on,
Right.
because again, he knows the plan,
Mhm.
and you just have to stay the course and not give
No,
up
don't give
no
up.
matter what, because there are people that look just like you that need you to be the example for them to keep
They need
going.
you to win.
Yes.
They need you to win.
Yes.
They need
yes,
you to win so they can see what
yes,
a winner looks like.
Yes.
Even when that winner was behind the curveball. You know, there is a song. Sometimes when I need encouragement, I turn to songs.
Mhm.
Now, what's the song? Encourage Yourself?
Encourage yourself.
Mhm. Encourage
Who is that by?
yourself.
I don't know
Do
who
y'all?
it's by, but I know that's
Sometimes you
Yeah.
have to. Okay. So that is my song. And I
Mhm.
know sometimes I had to play it 3 or 4 times a
Yes.
day
Yes.
because I was having moments. It's having moments. And,
Mhm.
you know, encourage yourself in the Lord.
Yes.
Encourage yourself. Sometimes you got to pick yourself up, you
Mhm.
know? And I tell you, it was those are those powerful times
Yeah.
when you don't think that you can do it again.
Mhm.
You can make it again.
Mm.
And again, you keep looking back at what you've done
Yes.
and you know what God's going to see you through,
Mhm.
but you got to you got to put some action, put some
Yes.
action to it.
Mhm.
People are looking at you and they
That's it.
want you to win.
Yeah.
And I think it's so important for us to share our stories.
Yeah. And when you said you were talking about Kelly um that strength it gave you, and now you're the entrepreneur telling people that they can do it.
Yeah.
You're the realtor saying, you not only can you have one, but you can have multiple investments and multiple this and that. You,
And
Yeah.
pass it down.
okay.
Let's
Yeah,
talk about your
legacy.
next generation.
Yeah. Yeah.
And every time I get in front of that classroom and I'm
Yep.
teaching other
Yeah.
nursing students that you can make it, I don't care what nobody
That's
says.
right.
Y'all, that's what the journey was all about.
Yeah.
To pass the message of resilience on to someone else.
Yeah. Yeah.
And we can't miss that. We can't miss it because it's huge.
Yeah.
It's huge. It's
Wow. There are parts of stories or experiences that we may not wanted to tell. We, and when you now think about resilience, or at some point you're like, you know what? Mm-mm. And now you don't hide it anymore.
Oh, come
Right.
on.
Right.
Yes.
And when I was
Yeah.
thinking about that, I was thinking about, how you had these pictures that you
Mhm.
don't want nobody to see. It's in the back of the album and it's on the phone somewhere, you're like, don't you put that on social media.
Andrea,
Delete. No.
Andrea, don't put that on social media. Let me see it first.
Let me see it first. Or, when you look way back, my
Yes.
my kids, they always have like I had got out pictures that I had in different places, and my son was running around with my daughter's pictures. I'm like, oh my God, that's you. I gotta show everybody. Oh, I gotta take a picture of that one because I gotta use that on you. So there are pictures from the past that you may not want people to see because
Mhm.
you don't look like that anymore.
Okay. Come on.
And you may want to hide it because
Mhm.
you don't look like that anymore. But
Mhm.
it's good to show that because people will
Yes.
say, like, what?
Mhm.
Wow,
Yes.
I didn't know. That's you? Girl, what?
Mhm.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And I think of things that in the last few years that I'm not afraid to say, like,
Right.
this happened to me. That happened to you, yeah. That happened to
Mhm.
me, you know, but I'm good, you know. Anything happens to y'all like that? Nothing to necessarily share, but you know what I
Yeah.
mean by that?
I do. I think that this is a we need a part 2 to this.
Mm-hmm.
This is just
Always do.
one round
Yeah.
of resilience,
Right.
but
Right.
the story. I know we both, all of us, have so many stories that we are only scratching the surface
Mm-hmm.
of resilience and what that means. You talked about military life, being a Black officer in the military.
Mm-hmm.
I can tell you some
Mm-hmm.
stories of resilience.
Mm-hmm.
Being a single parent
Yeah.
for many years, going through a divorce. Oh my gosh,
Yeah.
the stories of resilience. So there has to be a part 2
It gotta
to
be a
this
part 2.
because
Yeah.
there is more to tell.
Yes, there's a
More to
lot
tell.
to
Yeah.
tell.
Going back to school
Yes. Come
when your
on.
spouse is overseas and you got a young one.
Yes.
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 Oh my
Doing
gosh.
it without what you deem as resources.
Yeah.
I don't
Yeah.
have resources. You are in poverty. Really, that's what it is. Whether it be financial or just without your parents or without a
Yes.
spouse or without when you move, there's no there you gotta
Mhm.
find a grocery store and the child
Yes.
care and you may feel like you're all alone, but there's still resilience. I think of the three of us, we have had situations where we were probably felt really alone,
Right.
Mhm.
Right.
but we still push through.
Yeah.
Right.
And so I think that that's really important for those of you that are listening that feel like, well, you guys probably had help.
Mm.
See, we didn't have enough time to tell all the
Mhm.
stories. And so,
Mhm.
don't get it twisted.
Yes.
What I did have
Mhm.
is God on
Oh
my
my life. There you
side.
go.
Tell me where. Okay. That's what I
Yes.
did have. Was what we did have, right?
Right.
So
Yes.
if you are feeling like you are nothing, if you are feeling like you are deficient, you're inadequate, an imposter, or whatever the word
Mhm.
is, do a self discovery. So this is the takeaway. Do a self discovery and think about what have you been through. Go all the way back. The things that maybe you always focus on it. This happened to me, da, da, da. But how have you changed because of it? What have you learned? And if you haven't, start writing down what should I be learning from what happened? Um, what is powerful about what you went through, and how is that making you powerful now? And how can you affect somebody else's life
Mhm.
with the thing, right?
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
How can you push someone or move them forward
Mm-hmm.
with that? And lastly, what part of your story are you finally ready to honor instead of hide?
Yeah,
Any other
absolutely.
And
any other
share.
Yeah.
And share.
and share.
Hmm.
Any other takeaways?
I would say don't, as long as you have breath in your body, blood is still running through your veins. There is hope.
Mm-hmm.
There is opportunity. You do not have to give up. You do not have to settle. You don't have to give in.
Mm-hmm.
You just got to reach out. Someone is there to assist you, someone will be there for you, and you can achieve those goals, those dreams, everything from your wildest imagination. It can come to pass. You just got to stay resilient,
Mm-hmm.
stay the course.
Stay the course.
Yeah. Stay the course. There's a breakthrough and stay in the course. There's healing and stay in the course. And there should be expectation of those things.
Yes.
Breakthrough and healing. All right. Well, write us. Let us know what you think about this episode. Tell us about all the things that we just asked. Give us your comments on what we talked about. Any of y'all can relate to some of the things that we talked about? Anybody went through the same thing? Were you stuck on the highway pregnant? Write us and let us know. Did somebody tell you no, you shouldn't go and do the very dream you had and you did it anyway? Write to us. Let us know about that. Were you in a place where you were taken away from all the resources, the friends and all this kind of stuff, and you was like, I don't know where to be. And someone spoke life into you? Tell us about it. We want to hear. We want to read about it, and we will probably share those things. All right. Share, like, subscribe. Make sure that you send us to someone that you feel like will be affected or need a breakthrough or healing. Send this to them and let them see what we have said and the things that you have to say. Thank you so much.